Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today is gonna be a lazy video because I want to talk. First off, yes, I'm gonna be leveling up my enchanting a little bit. Yes, I know it's kinda useless, though it's still money. Wings, you know. And yeah, what are we gonna talk about today? Simple, really. What would I want to see in modern WoW implemented from what I saw on the stress test servers, aka Vanilla WoW / Warcraft Classic, whatever you want to call it. As somebody who actually played back then, I was really sad when I saw that they're removing many of the RPG elements, like Firestones or Magic Stones, whatever they were called, here and there. They took away the ingredients for stuff like mage portals. I'm not missing the shards for warlocks, I'm gonna give you that. I prefer the new system in that one. It was just annoying. It would be better if they weren't, like, you know, disappearing once you are logged out for 10 minutes, I think it was. But yeah, enough of that. So, what would I like to see? First off, bring back all the fan-freaking-tastic RPG elements. I wanna see weapon skills, I wanna see defense, I wanna see all of that things back. I wanna see armor penetration back, I wanna see resistances back. I wanna see ammo back, though not in the same form as it was in Classic or pre-Kata? No, there was ammo still in Kata, was it? I don't remember anymore. Either way, I wanna see ammo, but instead of having an additional bag, right? Well, additional. Instead of forcing you to switch a bag for a quiver or a ammo pouch, over here I would just add an additional slot. Just add a quiver or bag, whatever, or just ammo, which you could stack for like, well, let's say 2,000. That would be enough. That would be totally enough. And furthermore, I want to see quivers. I really do, because they are awesome. I forgot actually they existed for a long ass time, since I wasn't a hunter main. So yeah, stuff like this I was, well, quite ignorant. I just never noticed, really. And yeah, that's one thing. Ammo pouches, I'm pretty sure they were not visible on our characters, but shouldn't be much of an issue making a few designs. What else? I mentioned resistances. Pretty much the same thing, I wanna see them. I know that we have versatility that kinda fixes that problem, but still it was nice to have those additional resistances, either from buffs or gear or potions, whatever, meantime being weak to stuff like holy power. It was great. And since we mentioned the elemental attacks, why don't maps have elemental resistances? Why don't they have increased armor? I mean, the game could have I mean, there were stuff that actually reduced the armor or disabled some kind of defensive or offensive abilities on maps or players. Like Dismantle, for example, right? If memory serves, it actually took away a shield and I think weapon? Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember anymore. But yeah, that's one thing. Another one is just having the portals, the Mark of Kings, the seeds for a druid to be able to rest people. Those were great, but allow those to stack much higher, at least to 200. Because having those little stacks of, I think it was 20, they were quite annoying. Actually, now as I'm thinking of it, if we would have to switch the warlock's soul shards collecting to how it was, why not allow them to stack no need for a bag for it. I mean, to be fair, I don't think you needed the bag either way. It just was big, so people wanted it. But yeah, allow it to stack to, let's say 20, right? And, what's more important, they would not vanish like mage food. Although mage food could vanish because, well, it's mage food, it's not a big issue. You just cast it and it's there. But yeah, to the point. Another thing I wanna see is having weapons kind of different DPS. I think, I'm not sure here, but I think, and I'm gonna say this already, I did not really play much other classes than a druid, so I'm most likely wrong here. But I want to see weapons being actually different, and not just because this one has more crit or this one has more haste. No, I want to see their stats different. Like, let's have one weapon very slow, but with a big minimal and big maximal damage. Then let's have a weapon that is fast, deals small, minimal and maximal damage, but it swings faster. You get the drift. Just pretty much it could be a difference between swords, maces and axes. As simple as that. Same for ranged weapons. Let's have bows being the fastest, crossbow being in between guns and bows, while the guns would be the slowest, but they would deal the most damage. And now let's start rambling about the world, because oh my goodness, there's a lot. So let's start with the basic one. Please, Blizz, make the game goddamn harder. And I don't mean the end game. I don't mean the part of the game where most of the new people will not even reach because they will decide, nope, fuck this, it's boring, I'm not gonna play this anymore. We need fun, enjoyable experience while leveling. And now we're gonna say, oh, but people use the instant 110 or whatever boost. That's wrong. Many people, seeing that this is a new game for them, will decide, I don't want to start at this high level, I don't know how to play, right? So they will start with a lobby, level 1. And then when they see that the game is potato, they will decide, nope, I'm not sticking around, uninstalling, I'm out of here, I'm gonna play something else. And this is not something that Blizz should actually encourage. Because, let's be honest, they kinda are. And yeah. Now, back to the difficulty. The maps hit like wet noodles. One thing I actually remembered, right? When I was playing on the beta server, and I started my little druid and my rogue, and I think I made a mage? A human mage, I think it was? Anyways. I had fun. I had to think how to pull some of the maps, especially the spiders in the Night Elven starting areas. I had to think how to approach them without getting wrecked. It was fun. I also joined a group with people. I mean, now we have the cross-realm zones feature available, right? Why not utilize this? It could potentially be a massive, well, bonus for the game.
Hey there.
I mean, isn't the reason of the whole CRZ to actually make, hang on, isn't the whole reason of CRZ to actually make the world feel alive? So why am I feeling it being like more empty than it was before? Old content needs a revamp. Maybe if there is no time, if there is no resources to actually make a second Cataclysm, aka complete revamp of questing, at least make it harder, make the mobs hit harder. And for the love of fucking god, can mana for DPS classes actually matter? Because as of right now, only arcane mages actually pay attention to mana. And it's still not much. And yes, I know what I'm talking about. I have an arcane mage, I enjoy playing it, but mana is just it's there. I mean, for most classes, I mean, I spend a lot of time on my warlock, demo warlock. And I'm gonna say this. My demo, the only thing I have to worry about are cooldowns and shards. Mana is just there. It's not needed even. So, let's go back to how it was. Mana matters. I mean, on a level 1 to 10, I think, I mean, if you will drop below 99% of mana, that's gonna be something. I'm gonna be impressed. And if, well, this is something more about looms, rather. Looms are also not a good feature. They are just still a little bit too strong. And yes, I know, after level like 20, they kinda even out. But below that, they are still not where they should be. It's just bad. Just very bad. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to post anything. Oh well. No, actually I won't, because I have only 5 fucking silver. And I want my silver. But back to the thing. Oh yeah, speaking of money. Make money matter. Please. Because I'm gonna show you in a moment, money is not really an issue. So we need TSM. Look at my incomes from the past months. 42k. Right? 42, 40. I'm making a lot of money and I'm just playing the game for the most part. I'm just posting on the auction house whatever I find while playing. That's my money making. And yeah. Look at this, 170k, 611. Oh yeah, that's expenses, don't mind those. As you can see, I'm making more than enough money for myself. I mean, Jesus Christ, whenever I want something I just log on a different character and get me some money on the alt I need it on. What? Why is it so bright? Oh well. So, make mana actually matter. Make mana actually deplete itself. Well, not itself. Make abilities cast more on low levels, because nowadays they are just... Well, mana is not important for them. Like if I would go to the training dummies now, you would see me just casting Fireball. It costs 42 mana. 42 mana! And look how much I have. 2112. That's bad. For me, going out of mana is impossible. And it's boring. It's boring as fuck. This is what drives people away. People want RPG elements in an MMORPG. Yes, there are still people who will quote-unquote enjoy some features. Like, let's say, hey, I'm instantly level 120, yay, I'm enjoying sucking at fucking Mythic Plus. Yes, I'm being salty about some people doing Mythic Plus, who evidently did not even do normal or heroic. Shrine of the Storm. Yes, my favorite dungeon, actually. But, yeah. Back to the thingy. How would I actually fix it? Well, as I mentioned, make abilities cost more for those DPS specs that actually don't use mana. So, pretty much all casters, and I'm not kidding, it's only Arcane Mage that actually suffers from mana shortage when you go, well, with your arcane power a little bit too much. But that's it, plus the mana restores really fast. So how would I fix that? Well, if you would want to allow people to actually cast more than they should, I mentioned a while back that healing and mana potions could have shorter cooldown and they would not trigger a combat cooldown or whatever it's called. So, for example, we could use a healing potion, or in this case, a mana potion, right? 30 seconds later, we could use it again. I mean, this would, A, help the market a little bit, because people would want mana potions for either BGs, twinks, and all of that jazz, low-level dungeons or high-level dungeons as well. They would need mana, or they would want mana, instead of just stopping from time to time and eating/drinking, right? Foods like, what were they called? The sagefish. They have a well-fed effect, which restores a bit of mana every few seconds. That could be useful. It would drive the economy again. Cooking and all of that jazz would be fun again. Plus, I did ramble about professions a while back, so if you wanna see what I'm thinking about professions, then yeah, but they should be way more useful. And I kid you not, I'm making more money on my leatherworker and jewel crafter, which is my druid. Both of those, I mean, leatherworking and jewel crafting on my druid. I make more money selling old content stuff, everything pre or up to Cataclysm. Those are the things I make money. Current gems, they're worthless. I just keep them for my alts and myself. If I want to craft something to make money, I will make like stuff from light, medium or heavy leather or warbear harness. Those are classic. The current stuff, it's not only useless, like the new, well, quote unquote new PvP gear. I think it's 370 that we can craft right now. I can craft them, yes, but barely anybody will buy them. Why? Because it's so easy to gear up that it's just not important. I mean, world quests will award you with gear 370 or up. There is no need for it. Yes, there are of course those few people who are like, you know, rich and decided to, hey, I wanna have this really fast and I just wanna GTFO with everything up to the dungeon or whatever. They will buy it, maybe. But then there is so much competition that you will probably still not sell yours. Crafting in BFA is, for the most part, useless. The only exception is alchemy and to some extent enchanting. Everything else is pretty much useless. Jewel crafters, I mean, this is probably the worst expansion for a jewel crafter I've ever witnessed. And mind you, I didn't have a jewel crafter back in TBC, but I know how much they actually earned. 30, okay, I can try on this one, I guess. So yeah, just to point out the thing, look at the mana. It's already maxed. It's like, was it even there then? It could be as well just an energy bar. See, I'm not losing mana. But yeah. That was me rambling about professions and all that jazz. We talked about ammo, we talked about reagents. Oh yeah, speaking of reagents, cooking. I actually completely forgot until I jumped into the beta stress test servers that you needed additional cooking materials for some dishes. Why don't we have that anymore? Why don't we need spices, different spices? Why don't we need water for some recipes or whatever else? Yes, there are some still that requires like dwarven ale or whatever, but those are in minority. Mostly you just need one ingredient and you can cook. Nothing else, no spices, no nothing, no seasoning, no flour, none. You just place it in and you magically cook it. Why is that? Also make cooking more interesting, because let's be honest, most of the recipes are the same. I'm not really talking about recipes, but the end effect, the produce they actually create. Most of the food, and maybe I'll be able to show you a bit on this character. So let's see. Herb-baked egg. It gives 1 stamina. Let's go a little bit up. Spiced wolf meat. 1 stamina. Venison jerky. It's only health. Only health. 1 stamina and 1 versatility. Oh, that's better. 1 stamina and 1 versatility. Boiled clams. 1 stamina and 1 versatility. Crab cakes. 1 stamina and 1 versatility. Do you see where I'm going with this? It needs changing. But it's the same with most professions. I mean, for the love of God. Blacksmiths. Until level 40 you cannot make any plate gear. Why is that? That's dumb. When a warrior expects blacksmithing to allow him to create gear for himself, he would want to create plate items. I mean, I understand that you, as in Bliss, was happy with the, hey, let's remove the level 40 armor specialization, or in the case of a druid, the bear improvement, the dire bear form, which mind you looked the same, but still the fact was it was just, you know, better, much better. But those are some of the things I'm really pissed about. Also, probably one of the biggest things I am really disliking about BFA. This little mage, since I done just a few things in Darkshore, is already a hero. He's well known as a hero of the fucking Alliance of Azeroth, whatever. He's level 31. Why is that? Why is that? It should be an adventurer. He should be an adventurer, and he, meantime, is a hero since level 4, 5. Soon he's gonna be a champion. He's gonna be the chosen one. The one that sucks 10,000 cocks just to destroy the big bad evil. And considering that everybody is the chosen one, it's boring as fuck. We should be just the adventurers. We should be going into those adventurer guilds, taking tasks, taking some simple tasks from them, and then just ranking up from bigger threat to even bigger threat, and so on. That we could become the heroes, we could become those champions. This is something that pisses people off, that's driving new players away. You're instantly the champion who can ruffle stomp anything he sees, except a few certain maps. I mean, this is something from when I was leveling my warrior not long ago. I was still in mostly white gear, because I level my characters without heirlooms. At least mostly. I think this one is, yeah, this one is one of such characters that I don't. Yeah, I think I have heirlooms only on 3 characters total. One of them is for, well, for leveling for PvP, the other one is for gathering resources in Darkshore, and the third one is a monk which I'm not playing for shit just because he has a full set of heirlooms. Oh yeah, to the point. Let us become heroes, and not just be, hey, we see you there, you little potato. Here, have a badge, now you're a hero of the fucking Alliance or the Horde. Loktar of fucking Gar. Cool. No, that's really bad. Considering how easy it is, right, to level up. I mean, for the love of God, you barely need to do anything. You cannot die unless you really try to die. You need to be punished for mistakes. You need to have a risk and reward. if you wanna pull stuff, if you wanna pull 5 or 6 mobs, be prepared to die, unless your dick is so big that you will be able to actually outplay those mobs. That's what should be happening. This is what we need in the game. This is what will bring more people into the game. The player cannot be a god. And if they will become a god, they need to really deserve that thing. And considering how simple this game is, you literally become a god after like level 5, especially if you're using heirlooms. It's bad. It's really bad. Also, bring back some of the hostile maps to the certain areas. And I know that sharding is a problem from time to time, but we could use the CRZ to bolster that even more, to allow people to actually build a community again. People would get to meet new people, maybe new friendships would be made, maybe even, I don't know, new enemies. I mean, for the love of friggin' God, I'm saying for the love of God a lot of times in this video, but I am just quite passionate about this whole thing. And yeah, make the game harder. I'm not talking about mythics, I'm not talking about the end game, though in some cases it could be harder. Mists of Pandaria probably was the best example with its dungeons, which, well, people, including me, were soloing it as a DPS after like 2 weeks of leveling to, what was it, level 80 back then? No, 90. Or 85? No, 90, it was 90. 85 was Cataclysm. It's bad, it's a bad design. Also, instead of adding new land masses, and mind you, we have quite a bit of it now, why not use that technology to actually have a few phases of some areas? Alright? Like, let's say that we would revisit Northrend. Don't revamp the whole thing here, but add a phased area. Like, what is in Dragonblight? We would have the Dragon Shrine here, whatever it's called, Wyrmrest Temple. There could be something happening there. Like in the phased area for the next expansion content, we could have the, let's say, Void Forces attack there. The questing over there would be for the level 120 plus, and they would be fighting and questing, you know, doing quests against the Void minions or whatever. This is just an example, of course, but we all know that there are no old gods in Azeroth, right? But again, just phasing would probably solve quite a few issues, because the world, it's empty already, and if you're adding more land masses to it, it's just becoming even more empty, and that's again bad. If people don't see other people while leveling, it's already but if they don't see anybody for like an hour, 2 hours, that's already really bad. And I can see those 3 people over here, one of them is testing and those just standing there doing something. They're probably doing something similar to me, maybe, who knows. But yeah, the point is, the player needs to be challenged. If the player just can ruffle stomp everything on his path, he will get bored. He will see, oh, this is just boring, I have no... there's no challenge, my brain is just dying, blah. This is pretty much what leveling is in many cases. Especially if you are using heirlooms, which should be changed to, let's say, a experience buff. That's it. Instead of heirlooms, just allow the people to pop up a experience buff that would be like capped at the max level of your highest level toon. So let's say you have a level 110 character. The experience boost would affect your characters up to level 110. That would be fine. I mean, it would work. People would enjoy it. And yeah, hang on, I'm probably missing something. What PvP, I'm kind of fine with it. I mean, War Mode is doing its job, and the next patch is bringing also some more interesting stuff here and there. So I'm not gonna complain about that. I'm still going to make a what guilds need soon, TM. And I have also some other things, but this is just some me basic rambling slash venting, because I just feel that this was in me for way too long, so yeah, I just need to get rid of it. Oh yeah, before I forget, talents! Yes, why don't we have more talents? And I apologize since I'm showing you from my mod the talent tree. This is a Guild Wars 2 inspired UI, which I really enjoy. It's just so nice. But yeah, the talents end at level 100. Why don't we have anything further still? I mean, people like the choice. And no, I'm not gonna talk about how much I loved the old talent trees, because let's be honest, they were overall, they were boring as fuck. There was just one proper build for PvP, one proper build for PvE. That's pretty much it. There was no proper choice, really. Although, getting a point that you could invest in a talent that actually made you stronger, and you saw how much stronger, that was great. That was actually fun. That aspect was actually fun. Not the talents themselves, but the fact that you, after each level, after level 10, obtained a point that you could place into one of the talents. That was nice. People enjoyed that. That's why people usually call for those talent trees to come back. I personally don't care about that. I just want more choices here, because I think this talent is overall better, but the fact we are getting the talents so far in between is just meh. That's the thing that's actually screwing this talent tree off. I would also like to see the need to actually train your abilities back as well, but I doubt we'll get that anytime soon, because, well, people would be kinda upset that they have to spend their quote-unquote hard-earned money, which is, well, it's making money in this game is really easy. I mean, in a few days, this little mage will have at least a few thousands on him. I can guarantee you that. I mean, the druid I'm using for my Let's Play series, I have maxed out his cooking and his leatherworking lately, and fished a little bit. He is at 14 or something K right now, just from selling the leatherworking products, aka armors and all of that jazz, and some foods, because they do sell, but still, yeah. Having gold more interesting as well, interesting, harder to get would be nice. And yeah, am I missing anything? I talked about the weapon skills, the defense and all of that jazz, armors. Yeah, I think that I spoke about everything, but I think I kinda screwed up talking about the whole armor on enemies. We could have like golems having like huge armor values that would reduce the damage by like, let's say, 50% from non-magical attacks. Classes like warriors or rogues would have abilities to actually reduce it, or we could have armor penetration back. Since in Wrath of the Lich King, that was my favorite stat on my feral druid, at least for DPSing, I mean. It worked both in PvP and PvE. Though in PvE, no, in PvP it also worked even better, because you could, from what I remember, go into negative amounts, which pretty much increased damage taken, instead of like it is now with armor, where armor just, you know, reduces damage, in this case 10%. Same could go for, let's say, a fire elemental, which would have 50-60% fire reduction from resistances. Then we could have stuff like, let's say, Demon Hunter. This is just an example, of course, which instead of, as it is right now, increasing magical damage done to the target, it could eat through a chunk of the resistance for the people. That would work pretty nicely, at least in my head, and since I'm a RPG nerd, I would enjoy that. Many people would enjoy that. So, Blizz, this is something I hope somebody at Blizz actually watched this, or somebody directs anybody from there to this video. If you're watching until this point, bring back RPG elements. World of Warcraft is supposed to be an MMO RPG, massive multiplayer online role-playing game, where the player starts as a normal pleb, a simple adventurer. He climbs through the ladders, he beats the obstacles, he beats the big bads to become this hero, and not being a little child being held by a fucking what was it, Daniel in the fucking undead starting area? It's don't even get me started on fucking horde starting zones, because in many of those cases it's just like, why are those even a thing? But yeah, even as I'm rambling now, let's keep to the point. If anybody from Blizzard is watching until this point, or anybody actually watching to this point, this game, to attract new and old players, needs to become A, harder, and B, obtain more of its last RPG elements back. This is what actually keeps people interested and invested in a game. If the game is too simple, if the game is just a treadmill, it gets boring really fast. I mean, let's be honest, if I had access to the beta servers, I would be there. I would not play retail, I would be there. It's simple as that. Because I'm not gonna ramble about me being a rose-tinted fucking goggle bitch. No, because I'm not. I played this. And I didn't want vanilla myself. But after playing it, I got hyped. Why? Because I realized how many of the good old RPG elements that were lost in retail are there. The fact alone that I am starting as a no one, just a typical nobody, a trainee, this already is great for me. I'm starting from nothing, and I climb up to become the soon-to-be hero. This is what keeps people invested in a character. Instant gratification, the amount of convenience in the game, the accessibility to everything. It's bad for a game, it's bad for a MMO. The game should utilize stuff that we can see in even time walking. Have old content being a additional way of actually obtaining gear. As we have Ankirai, as we have Molten Core, allow players to go there and actually have an adventure with other people. It could be scaling, it could be time walking that scales you to the max level. But people would have fun. Of course, yes, there would be people who would be bitching about this, that they cannot solo it anymore. Fuck those people, actually. But this would again allow people to decide what content they want to actually play. This is why I enjoy the the Mythic Plus content that we have available since Legion. Because this allowed players that didn't really like raiding, they didn't really like PvPing, to progress their characters in dungeons. And this is great! But we need more stuff like this. Old dungeons, old raids, old... pretty much everything could be used to allow our characters to develop more, to build your name in the world, both for the NPCs, right? Even with the simple reputation system, something could be done with that, like on Honored, you would be liked, you would have some maybe discounts, you could obtain some access to some additional quests. And then it would increase even further on Exalted. You'd be liked, you would get some more discounts. Of course, mind you, you already get discounts with certain factions whenever you rank up, but still, you don't really get much new quests, you don't get much content out of it. Like, let's say, when I'm a nobody, I'm neutral, the guards would just do nothing. But if I would be Exalted, they would like salute or something to me. That would be already something great. I would feel that the world actually recognizes me as a hero. That would be amazing. Also, the game world needs to stop with the, hey, you are the chosen one. Like, right now, we have the Heart of Azeroth, which supposedly only me and a handful of others should be getting. And meantime, we have millions of people running with it. You are the Azeroth's hero, you are the Azeroth's chosen, you're her champion. No! You are a pleb just like everybody else. If you want to be a hero, deserve that title, become the Grand Marshal, become one of those who actually down a proper difficult encounter. You are the one. You are the one out of 20 that have brought down Sargeras, or Argus in this case rather. This should be something that is like disabled after it has been done in the next expansion. Because right now, I can go to any of the older content stuff, like let's say Emerald Nightmare. And whereas the title was valuable, it was prestige, now it's nothing. It's easy to obtain, it's easy to go there either alone or with a few friends and just wreck the bosses there. This should be either a challenge or the title should be gone. The whole thing of you soloing mythics, soloing heroic, soloing a raid, this should not be a thing in a role-playing game. Everything should be a challenge. Everything should bring you to think, to develop, to gather allies. This is what an MMORPG is about. This is not fucking Call of Duty. This is not fucking... what? Fucking, I don't know, Dynasty Warriors, where you are munching through fucking thousands of people with a single strike, somehow. This is supposed to be a proper Western RPG. Think D&D, where a simple wolf can wreck you. Where a simple lucky individual, a shitty little rogue with no stats, no weapons, have a chance of stabbing that big bad ogre just by luck. This is something that we need. Just I'm gonna start rambling for the next 2 hours if I continue with this D&D metaphor, so I'm gonna stop this at here. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, oh god, my throat is so dry right now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you watched until now, I would really like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. This was me rambling about the state of WoW. What would I want to see integrated back from vanilla? What would I want to have changed This whole video, as always, it's not scripted, so I was talking from the bottom of my fucking soul in this case. And I'm not doing this to bash the game, to bash people that actually enjoy soloing old content. I'm talking about this because the game is in a really poor state. It's almost reaching the Warlords of Draenor state. Or maybe it's even there. Probably not yet. I mean, I'm enjoying playing still. But yeah, the game needs saving. And going the convenience road, allowing everybody to do everything, is not the way. People need to be allowed to think. People need to create friendships. People need to create those relationships with other people in either helping each other or become enemies. I mean, in the past, you had ninja looters, you had all those evil trolls that people just hated. Those were the public enemies. This is something that is pretty much impossible now. I mean, I don't mind the fact that we have personal loot. I enjoy that feature. It's okay. But don't allow the game to actually, or the players, to solo content so easily. This needs to be something that the game actually will force you to gather allies, become stronger. But it will also award you. So if I would go to Molten Core now, on my level 120, I should get wrecked by Ragnaros. I should get my ass handed to me by all the minions that are there. And not the other way around, where I just look at a monster and it just falls over and dies. I should be forced to gather friends, allies, and then head deep into the tunnels of Molten Core, face the dangers that are there, face the dangerous enemies, but in the end, be rewarded with either a weapon that would be suitable for me, for my 120 druid, or for my allies. This is what an MMORPG should be, and not this abomination that it is now. It should be all about the adventure, not, well, nothing about you being a god. And yes, again, I'm gonna end this video here because I really am going to start rambling really long, and trust me, I can ramble for a long ass time. This video probably is already way too long, but I'm not gonna cut anything from it. So, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, if you stayed this long, you are a hero. You are fantastic. And yes, what are your thoughts about this whole thing? What would you change, add? What would you like to see? Are you still playing the game? Are you playing Battle for Azeroth? Or have you quit? I would be really curious to actually see other people's opinions down in the comments, but I'm expecting, since my channel is my channel, to see pretty much nothing. And yes, I will see you in the next video. Bye!